everybody. My name's Craig.
I'm Brian.
I'm Burke.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is Get Dunked On, the podcast.
Yay! Was that a little bit of the Who there?
We're not talking owls, the Who?
Yeah, it's a Mr. Owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a lollipop?
That is gross. That is gross as hell in that commercial. I am sorry. Like, no, really.
You don't want to lick something after an owl's licked it?
No, owls poop out their mouths. They do. They have the owl pellet things. Like, that is gross as hell.
I mean, he didn't share it, though. He ate it.
Well, that means the owl is not only gross, he's a dick.
He's
like,
selfish, too. Speaking of being a dick, I had this dream last night, guys.
Okay.
And, like, I woke up very, actually, mad. Like, I was very pissed off when I woke up. So, I went to bed, and it's a real quick dream here. The segment that made me mad was, when I was sleeping, at some point throughout the night, in my dream, I looked in the mirror, and I had, like, more than a 5 o'clock shadow, like it looked like it had been, stubble over, like, a day or two or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what in the blue shit is this? Like, what the fuck happened? I didn't shave. I did not shave at all, and for people that don't know, I've got a, big old bushy beard, as they say in Hot Fuzz. I didn't shave it. And so in my dream, I go to Sarah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did you shave my beard? And she gives me this, like, ridiculous fuck you type look. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Like, I don't have a beard now. I had one yesterday before I went to sleep. And now I don't have one. A burglar didn't break in and fucking shave my beard off. What the fuck happened?
Greg's so attached to his beard.
I'm listening to the story. Like he's like, I'm Samson, and my strength comes from my beard.
It confused the shit out of me because I'm sitting there going, and in my head, like I literally told her, I was like, it's not necessarily like you shaved the beard off. Oh no. Or if you didn't want me to have the beard or something along those lines, like we can definitely talk about that. I'd probably, shave it off if you really wanted me to. But like, why did you have to shave it in the middle of the night like a child? And now you're telling me you don't know how it happened. Like clearly you did this, but you will not tell me that you did it. And it made me so mad.
But wait a minute. Is this one of those dream logic things where you could tell that she really did do it and she was lying? Or is it that she legitimately had no, like it was like one of those situations where, Craig, you've never had a beard. What are you talking about?
No, she was giving me this fucking shit grin like, oh, I don't know what happened. And she was completely lying to me. I was so fucking mad at her.
Your wife is like one of the nicest people in the entire world who would never do something like that and would not be able to lie to your face like that.
No.
So like that, your dream, like
she wasn't even lying to my face. It was such an obvious like, I don't know what happened. Like a sarcastic, but she's not actually admitting to it. And that's why I was so mad. I was like, why can't you just tell me? I was like, even if you did it, one, it's childish that you felt like you had to do it at night instead of just talking to me about this. But then you have to like completely lie to me about this, even though you're being sarcastic and sort of not lying, but you're giving me this like, oh, fuck you type look while you're doing it at the same time. It's like, what is happening here?
But she gave you a good enough shave while you were sleeping to where I
didn't wake up.
That's what I'm saying.
That's actually impressive.
Good. Yeah.
Impressive.
I was actually thinking about the physics of that this morning where I was like, there's no way I wouldn't wake up if someone started shaving my beard. Like, the worst you could do is take scissors to it.
Yeah.
Which means she gave you drugs, too.
Oh my God,
she drugged me.
Yeah.
She did drug me.
This is getting dark.
This is getting very dark. I just remember being like, oh my Lord, why in the blue hell? Why in the blue hell would you do this?
See, our dreams are completely different. For me, I was like last night, like I was on a school bus with that could somehow magically fit everybody from our old high school, riding to a
perfect sense,
riding to a farm because there was a blizzard coming and everyone had to help the farmer get all like pull all of his crops or whatever. But yet the farm was on the side of a mountain, and I got to look out and I was like, wow, this is really pretty. Also, for some reason, and actually, when I say for some reason, I know because she was in a thumbnail right before I went to bed there. But Mari from Smosh was also part of our high school for some reason. I don't know why. Like just mine are batshit crazy. Yours are like, my wife is cutting my facial hair.
Has anybody else had dreams where you've woken up and you are just actually because I mean, I woke up and I was fuming still. I woke up right in the middle of when I was feeling all those emotions in the dream.
Yes.
And I woke up and looked over at my wife and was like, I could kill her right now. Nobody would know. So, I mean, has anybody else?
Yeah.
Has anybody else had that where you woke up still,
Oh,
or
yeah.
still completely in that emotion?
Oh yeah, like
Yes.
I don't remember it, but I had a dream earlier this week after I came back from my trip, and it was something to do with my father, and like I woke up, like and the adrenaline was just pumping through me, and I should have written it down because it was, I don't remember any of it now, but I just remember I was the adrenaline was pumping, I was ready to kill a man, and that man was my father for some reason. So angry.
Man, oh man.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
I had a nightmare once that I was demonically possessed and killed my family, and it actually terrified me so much that I couldn't sleep for the next 3 nights. Because every time I started to fall asleep, like I would jolt awake, like, no, because I'm gonna kill somebody.
Craig, I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever carried the emotion out of the dream into reality, you know? Like, for the most part, I just don't do that. Like, it's one of those deals where I'll wake up and go, that guy's a, oh, wait, that was a dream. Like, you know, I just let it go instantly. I don't carry that. Although I did have I did have a girlfriend once who she came over and she basically was like, she's like, you're an asshole. I'm like, what did I do? I'm thinking, oh my God. She's like, I had a dream last night where you cheated on me. I'm like, well, that's not fair.
Well, that's the thing. 'Cause I mean, I definitely didn't take it out on her, but like in that moment, exactly when I woke up, I was just still fuming that she lied to me and was being an asshole. And I looked over and I was like, "You're friggers." And then I walked downstairs and started playing Overwatch.
Well, then that's a good way to fix it.
It's a perfect way of fixing it. So, in the vein of how things ended and how we felt, we wanted to actually go back and talk about endings of TV shows and movies this week. Things that we thought were not up to par, or things we were disappointed in terms of the way TV shows ended or the way the movies ended. And this actually came about because we got a request to do TV shows from someone that Burke talked to. Is that correct, Burke?
Yeah.
Car Ramrod something?
Oh yeah, that was right. I was like, I know that I had this conversation. I don't remember.
I totally know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it really was. And I was like, I don't remember, but I did remember.
So someone listening to the podcast suggested TV shows, and we wanted to do something a little bit more focused than just a very broad TV show subject. So we wanted to talk about things in TV shows and movies when they ended, and they ended disappointingly. Not necessarily they were just bad. Just it was like, what was that?
I think we should just start out with the obvious. Firefly. It ended.
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay,
that's
all right, that's
fair.
out of the
That's
way.
fair.
That's out of the way, Brian. You're
I
good.
never actually watched Firefly.
Same.
I watched the first. I watched the first couple.
I quit. I'm done.
Take me with you.
I watched the first like 2 episodes or something like that, and it didn't hook me immediately. Maybe it was just the timing
Are
that
you
I was
kidding
trying to
me?
watch it, or whenever it was. But like,
That shit is
I watched it.
enchanting.
It was a space cowboy.
Exactly. What more can you ask for?
It's a Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion is a space cowboy.
I like Nathan Fillion. I usually do not enjoy cowboy movies or TV shows or whatever. So
It's a space cowboy.
Yeah.
I understand that space is in front of it.
Burke's like, wait, I'm pretty sure you're not getting this. He's a cowboy in space.
I think my issue with it is that it's highly recommended to me by people who also highly recommended a bunch of other shows that I didn't like, so I kind of chalked it off as well. I'm not going to like this one either, so...
Well, you have to watch it and then watch the movie that went along with
Yeah.
it, Serenity,
Yeah.
which was loved it, loved all of it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get a few of them out of the way that are both kind of obvious, but also still stung me the most. Angel is an easy one right off the bat. I got to tell you,
Yes.
Angel,
Yes, thank you.
Angel's ending
Yeah.
was just so awful. I mean, just awful. They left you hanging when there's like, and I don't, and just, are we gonna do a spoiler warning at the beginning of this here? Just like
Well, we're going to immediately, since we are talking completely about endings of TV shows, whenever we start talking about a TV show, there is a 99.9% chance we're going to talk about the ending completely and in spoiler territory. So, again, if you don't want to hear that portion, then skip around, see what you can do, or just
there's
wait
that
till next week.
15-second skip, that might help.
Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So the entire plot of Angel is that it's building towards something, right? Like especially that last season with Wolfram and Hart. And they're like, yeah, we're building toward this big thing and this big climax and da. And it had so many cool moments. And truth be told, the last season of Angel was better than both seasons. Because that was season 5, so it would be 3 and 4 combined. It was better than both those. So it was just like one of those deals where it was like such a good season. Everything was like hitting on all the markers. Spike was involved. I'm like, yeah. And it throws a wrench into the whole prophecy thing, and I love it. And then he goes, I'm going to slay the dragon. End. And that was it. It was just, it was so frustrating. I don't know.
See, and this is kind of going out to a different part of the show, but the last season, I didn't enjoy all that much.
What?
The last season seemed like, okay, guys. We feel like we know we're about to end, so let's just do a whole bunch of what if scenarios. Like, with what's her name? The thing they made her, like the
Fred.
There we go, Fred. I could not think of the name. It's been so long. I hated what they did with her. During that whole thing, I thought that was really dumb. Was Cordelia even in the final season?
No.
Yeah,
she was in one episode of the final season. She was kind of like a quick cameo thing.
Yeah, I never really liked Spike, and I know that's like blasphemous to you,
Oh,
Brian.
that is blasphemous.
But like, just the whole final season felt like, okay, we're running out of ideas. What do you guys want to do? Because anybody that submits one, we'll have a Twitter thing online. Whoever submits an idea, that's gonna be an episode. Like that's just how it all felt, and it was just. And then so like the whole last season was sort of disappointing, and then it went to the final one. They're like, crap, what are we gonna do? Well, let's just have them go out basically dying, but we don't say it either way. So you could make the example one way or the other.
They killed everybody.
Yeah.
They just killed everybody.
Well, you don't see them die, so it's one of those.
No,
ones,
they killed quite a bit of people.
Well, they killed quite a bit, but the last 3, like the final scene, is them like, there's the whole horde of things that we're about to fight. Probably not going to survive it. See you on the other side. Fist bump, and then they go off, and it like cuts.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Yeah, it was bad, and although we could sit here and go back and forth on the whole, was season 5 good or not, which it was, but all day, I will just leave it at the ending. We can agree on was awful.
Absolutely.
So, that one was not so good. I didn't care for there was a letdown factor of the Smallville ending. I'll say that. I'd say it wasn't bad. It was kind of a letdown overall. I like how both of them were on CW, so or at WB, or whatever at the time. But
yeah, I'm going to say I don't necessarily. There was definitely some letdown. It wasn't a complete disappointment, but
letdown.
There was letdown. You never see him fly around. It was like the shoddiest way they could have made Clark Kent into Superman, basically, in my opinion.
Exactly.
They had him fly once, and they were like, "Well, that's all you get, la la la," and it was done.
Yeah, never see him in the suit. Haha. Another show that was like Dark Angel. Did you ever watch Dark Angel?
I didn't. That was the Jessica Alba one, wasn't it?
Oh, fuck yes, it was. I'm sorry.
I didn't watch that.
All right. Anybody out there who watched Dark Angel like me, like religiously, it was it was one of the like quintessential shows like when I was growing up, like for live action shit stuff. I was so into Dark Angel. Jessica Alba was amazing, and she was. It was one of the first times I had ever seen. Actually, I probably watched Dark Angel a lot more than I did Buffy at the time. But it was like the first time it was a female protagonist who was very strong, independent. And the guy was he ended up being on NCIS for a bunch of years. But anyway, the main guy in it was in a wheelchair, so it was like really like this power dynamic that was very different than what you were used to seeing at the time. And I was like, it was just so cool. She was awesome. I love that show. But it had an awful ending. Awful ending. Another one kind of like an Angel where it was like, and now we all stand here and leave everything up to your imagination.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I said the obvious one because it really pissed me off. But I don't have that many.
Okay, well, how about this one? I know you watched this. What did you think about How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, thank you. That's the TV show I was trying to think of. The whole last season was a whole flurry of let's get this over with kind of a thing for me. And I've watched it, the whole thing, at least twice now, and it ended. The first time I watched it, I was actually kind of sad because it was this whole build up. Hey, here's this last few episodes with your mom, and it was wonderful. Maybe it was the last episode. I don't remember. Here's this timeline. They had kids. They got married. She died. Right, and boom, he gets back with Robin. And I was like, the fucking hell.
Yeah.
In an episode, basically, in 30 minutes, you toy with my emotions. He's happy forever. They have kids. She dies. Robin.
Yeah, this was also on my list.
Yeah, I don't know. That was it was painful. But I mean, now that I've watched it again, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I'm sort of in that boat where the first time I watched it, I was actually traveling for work while the final episodes were going. In the final episode, I ended up slingboxing into my parents' TV so I could watch it live. And I was in Florida. I was in Orlando doing a gig down there, and I was watching it. And I remember sitting there like, yes, I'm so excited. I get to watch this. And I'm watching, and what the hell just happened? Like you knew the way they were building it up that they were that she was going to die. That was the reason why. That was part of their thing. You're building up. Yeah, they were building that up because of the whole like he starts crying type thing. And there was speculation. I even speculated, well, maybe it was like his mom didn't go, but more than likely it was her. She didn't make it, and so you're trying to figure this whole thing out. And then it like goes back and goes, the whole thing we were kind of keying on the whole entire show. Yeah, that's what this is really still all about. And the first time I watched it, I was super pissed. And then I've come around to it a lot more since then, where I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Like they literally were trying to tell us this for 9 seasons, basically. 9 seasons was all about these two characters. And now it kind of wraps back around where it works. So I'm a lot happier about it now than I was beforehand. But the first time I watched it, I remember being super pissed off. Like this, I feel like I just wasted 8 seasons worth of stuff because I was ready to meet the mother. Not the person he fell in love with, but the mother. And then we got like 3 episodes of her. And then they're like, la 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 la, and they shot off party streamers, and then they went away.
Now, you guys are glossing over one of the other things in this that I think is actually one of the bigger offenses of that one, which is Barney's story. Barney's ending or Barney's story is arguably the most tragic of all of them. Like he I feel like his got cobbled together. They're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do with Barney? When he's in his late 40s, he has a kid and he stops becoming a womanizer, but not really. Like that then they go, okay, moving on. Let's talk about Robin again. It's like, no, what about Barney? Like I feel like his ending got shafted more than most in this one.
That's actually also why it upset me too. I get that the show was How I Met Your Mother and you were waiting all these seasons, but I honestly didn't care because I was just enjoying the story leading up to that. We could have never met the mother and I could have cared less. But it actually upset me because I feel like Barney just got the whole shaft in this situation.
Agreed. And for such a likable, because he's funny type character, you really just felt for him at the end of it because it's like everyone is, oh no. He's like, I love Robin more than anyone else in the whole wide world. Oh, guess we're divorced. Oh, guess I have a kid now. Oh, guess my, days of being whatever. It's like, what? What is happening here, Barney?
The progression they took with all the characters in the final episode, because I feel like they felt they needed to accumulate. They went through, almost like a day-by-day feeling for the last 8 years. And then in season 9, they felt, you know what? Not only do we have to cover this year's worth of events, which actually was 3 days worth of events for the wedding, but we also have to cover the next 20 years. Or whatever it was, the next, I'll just say 20 years. That makes probably the most sense because I don't remember the exact timelines of it. But they're like, we basically have to cover the next 20 years in this season as well. And they even felt like they pushed off the next 20 years till the final episode or the final 2 episodes, however you want to put it. But that finale night is when they went, you know what? This is where we're going to cover 15 years worth of lore in this story. And that's really tough to do. And it felt like everything was just, here it is, and then they just fast forwarded through it, and you're getting the little snippets of like, oh look, they're happy, oh look, they're pissed off, oh look, there's a kid, oh look, there's death, and that was it. It just seemed like extremely fast and whatnot throughout the whole thing. I do have to say though, them giving Barney, that little not twist, but they gave him that little thing with the kid at the end, did lend itself to seeing one of the cooler Neil Patrick Harris moments when he's talking to the kid, and you get to see him act really, the way he can, because he is kind of like a Broadway
Yeah.
guy and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that, where they gave him that little, like, you are my world type thing, and you could see. I just like seeing people act a lot and acting well. So it was fun seeing that. I hated what they kind of did with the character, but I like seeing that moment where they showed him really like getting dirty with his acting and doing that. So that was really cool with the emotion that he displayed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's kind of cool that they did that part of it, but just still, it's like when you spend the entire season leading up to his and Robin's wedding, and then like pull the rug out and be like, "Psych! It's always been about Ted and Robin." I'm like, well, that defeats the purpose of the whole wedding thing, like the lead up. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasted season 9 in that respect, where you're like, oh, look, there's nothing that we're going over here.
Yeah.
I can go into one of mine here real quick. That was the slow fade out. It was not necessarily the season finale that ended this thing. The thing got hacked off really quick, and it's just one of the more painful ones for me to watch, with how well they did initially, and then just to watch it limp along after it got shot for like 3 years was Heroes. Heroes was a massive disappointment in terms of season 1, amazing. Season 2, we're awesome for like 3-4 episodes. Oh no, writer strike. Never recovered. And that was it. They went for 4 seasons, so I know it's not exactly the way that we kind of described what we were going to be talking about today, but that's one of the bigger disappointments, was how amazing season 1 of Heroes was. And then it went, and it literally felt like a deer that got shot about 6 episodes into season 2 and then limped for 2 more seasons after that, all the way to season 4 when it got canceled. And that was extremely disappointing on my end.
I watched the first 2 seasons, started season 3, and just said, and that's when the series ended.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. I never watched 3 and 4.
I ended up going through 3 and 4 later. I didn't realize. I went back. I was like, I never watched anything past season 2. And then I watched it about a year or some odd ago. And I go, oh, I did see all of season 3. Oh, I did see all but like 3 episodes of season 4. And then they went through and they had Heroes.
It was so memorable to you.
Yeah, I know. And then they had Heroes Reborn this past year, which was pretty fun. I liked it. They did a little bit too much, like, oh, we have to play to the old crowd. We have to get all these old people. I'm like, you guys could have just went with new people and went like, hey, this is the new squad, and stuck with them, and it would have been really cool, because you'd have been going, we know what people can do, but when you keep bringing these other people back into it, and so that kind of hurt it too. But it was still kind of fun. It was, I guess, really middle ground. But that was one of the more disappointing ones for me, was Heroes. Shows that I really wanted to do well, and they just did not do well.
That show was one of those ones that started off so strong. That first season grabbed the whole country was like, yes, Heroes, holy crap. Because this is when this whole superhero fad had really just started kicking off. The idea of like, oh man, this is like watching a Superman, kind of thing. And now it's, and then as it went on, it just kind of, as you said, died out.
Okay, so my problem with this topic is that, like, I don't finish a lot of TV shows.
Me too.
And, like, I know TV shows that I enjoyed that got canceled, and, like, I'm disappointed that they got canceled, but I can't tell you the endings of them at all. So I have, like, Reaper and Dead Like Me are 2 shows that I thoroughly enjoyed. I don't remember the endings, but they got canceled way too early.
I never actually went through and finished Reaper. I really liked Reaper. I remember watching, it was in, when we lived in Lansing, Brian. I was watching Reaper. I don't know if you watched it with me or not.
Yeah, no, I remember that one.
But yeah, and I remember the pilot was directed by Kevin Smith, and that's what initially got me. I was like, huh, he did a TV show here? And I went to check it out purely because of that. And then the show ended up being kind of funny. I never ended up finishing that one, though.
Limitless, Too Human. There's a lot of good shows that got canceled.
Intelligence.
Yeah, so that's my thing with the topic of the TV shows, is that, like, I don't have very many endings that I've actually gotten to. And a lot of people are going to call me blasphemous, as they have been for, 30 years or whatever this movie's been out for. But I hate the ending to E.T. Like, literally, if you want a disappointing ending, my entire life I have hated E.T. Worst movie ever because of its ending.
Wow, really? E.T.?
Yeah, they spend the whole movie building up this friendship between this lonely alien and this lonely boy, and then the alien's like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm leaving. Bye.
Deuces.
I mean,
That's it's the worst. I hate it. I cannot stand it.
because you want to see them together at the end, and like you want to see him be 45 going out to the bar with the alien still and being like, check it out, and doing the whole thing.
No, not necessarily, but just to build, like, to make the whole movie about how they became friends specifically, and then be like, well, actually, he just really wanted to go home the whole time, so here he goes. Like, it's just kind of that, misleading, I guess, is how I feel about it, but I can't stand it. And everyone's like, oh my god, E.T. is great because Steven Spielberg, you know, that's when his career really started. And I'm just like, I don't like this movie.
See, you know what? Want to know something even more blasphemous than that? I don't think I've ever watched E.T. the whole way through.
It's okay because it's a bad movie. Like, I'm telling you, you don't have to
I've never watched E.T. either.
I've watched like bits and pieces of it when it's on TV, but I've never taken the time to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
And every time I've ever like attempted to sit down and watch it, I'm like, oh man, but there's like anything else on. And then and then I go watch that.
I know my sister used to love it all the time, and I think that's partially why I might not have wanted to watch it. I was like, she likes it. I don't want to like it. Girls like that, you know, because I'm 6 or whatever, and I'm stupid. So I think that may have been part of it, but I never watched it. But all I'm hearing from Brian is what Brian was wanting. E.T. stayed, and they went out to the bar. So basically, he wants a early 1990s version of Ted, where they're hanging out and doing stuff.
Yes, that's what I was asking Michelle. Is like, would you have wanted to see that, like the later version of Ted, where like he's out to the bar and like, you know, some girl's like hitting on him, and E.T.'s like, he's like, give me your number, like they're doing the whole thing. He's hitting on him.
What's the main character's name? Not E.T. What's the boy's name?
Elliot.
Elliot, phone you. That's the line. That's the line for him to try and get girls' phone numbers.
Oh god.
And he does a thing where doesn't he like make a flower bloom or something like that, like in the movie?
No, that's Lily Potter.
Sure.
Michelle's got me on this one.
We're kicking Brian out again.
Oh, am I out again? I'm pretty sure every podcast one of us gets kicked from the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive.
I've got kicked out twice.
Michelle, that's the one for you, huh? That's the only movie that you just go look at it and you just go, that was the crap ending.
No, it's not the only one, but that's like the worst one to me. I think it's because it's such, like, it's one of those things where it's not generally conceived as like a bad ending. Like, everyone thinks it's a fantastic movie. And I think that's why it sticks out for me, because there's other ones that I have that I do think have bad endings, but a lot of people also do, so it's not that big of a deal.
So I was thinking about, like, so the Lord of the Rings series, the actual movies, not the books, the movies.
Yes.
Like, I loved the whole series. I know some people didn't, but the last movie in the last 30 minutes drove me up a wall.
Same. And I was actually like, I was looking up kind of like things that people felt disappointed in, trying to jar my memory of things that I have been, because I only had a couple, and that was on numerous lists.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that I blocked out that last 30 minutes because I don't like it.
The reason I absolutely hated it, it wasn't really the multiple endings. It was literally because I wanted to see this. For those of you who've read the books, I wanted to see the Shire get fucking decimated. And it never happened. And like there was that, you know, there was like a whole that could have been another almost an. I understand why, because it could have been another hour of hobbits fighting goblins, basically, and recapturing the Shire. Because there was a whole, massive part of the book that was there. And that just didn't happen because, you know, you had the redemption story of man, and yes, you had the Sam and Frodo adventure of destroying the ring, but then you had Merry and Pippin, who actually went back, took all they learned from man, and recaptured the Shire from men, and, you know, turned hobbits and goblins. It was awesome. And that never happened. I was just
sound
so
awesome. Holy crap!
I was just so upset.
Yeah, I never got that far in the books because the books drove me up the wall. But I would have loved to watch that. Like, why wasn't that on there? It's not on the extended edition
No,
either.
it's not.
So
No.
The only time that you see the Hobbit in any sort of trouble in the movies is there's a one scene in the extended version where they basically like imagine the Shire like this, and it shows it like
Yeah, it's
burning in
when
the
they're talking to
background, and they're all
it-
like walking slowly, with like
It's
chained
when-
up or something.
Yeah, it's when and that is in the book. It's foreshadowing to what actually happens. The Shire getting destroyed when I think Frodo's looking in the whatever, the mirror of Galadriel or whatever it is. But yeah,
See,
So-
and now you guys are jogging my memory on things like that I don't. Okay, so this is a movie that I have a problem with that everyone loves. Talking about that, like Michelle, you just sparked my thought on this. I do not like the ending of or the movie at all of Remember the Titans, and everyone loves that movie, and I can't stand it. Like I hate that movie. I hate just realistic sports movies in general because I think that they have.
shut up, Sunshine.
Well, I'm just saying, like every time like a realistic sports movie starts, I'm like, I immediately check out because I know, number one, I know that like these kids are in high school, right, and they're being portrayed by 30-something actors, and I'm like, well, first off, nobody in high school looks like this. Second of all, nobody speaks.
That's every movie ever.
No, I know, but I mean, like, especially in high school sports movies like this, you know what I mean? Like, it's. If the country had completely solved racism because of Remember the Titans or something, or like because of the real events, that'd be one thing. But it's like it's still like it didn't fix anything. And the story is for me is about a kid who gets paralyzed and then dies. The whole point of the movie for me is about the kid who gets paralyzed and then dies. Like that's awful. It's an awful movie and it's an awful message. And I hated it at the beginning and ending because it started in a graveyard and ends in a graveyard. It's awful. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
So the graveyard concept. So you hated Saving Private Ryan too?
No, I fucking love Saving Private Ryan. That movie's amazing. Holy crap! Like that one, the whole way through, I'm like, yes, that. Oh,
Fair enough.
wow.
Fair enough.
I just don't like sports
Okay.
movies and like the realistic sports movies. Remember the Titans? Love it. Or not Remember the Titans. What's the Replacements? I love. I do not like Remember the Titans.
And that
Okay.
right there is the easy dividing line. Realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did force Brian to watch 61 though, the baseball movie.
Sure did. He sure did.
Going on the movie thing, there was one that I was thinking about as well going through this. I know some people had a lot more of a problem with the third movie in this series, but I still ended up enjoying it. But it still ended up being one of the just like, oh, that was a pretty good series all around. The trilogy was pretty good, and then at the very end, it was like just this giant like shit bomb happened all at the same time, which was The Dark Knight Rises. The ending of that movie just seemed really like
Yeah.
That was actually on a lot of lists that I was reading today too. You're not even.
Yeah,
alone in that.
I was kind of like it went through and it does the whole. Oh yeah, we've got the bomb. I'm gonna take this nuclear bomb like 45 feet offshore. That'll save everybody, right? There won't be radiation that gets that'll just there won't be nuclear fallout that falls over the city. Oh yeah, that's probably still happening. And then the fact that the whole the billionaire playboy, even though he's been a recluse for 8 years, disappears to France, and everybody's like, we have no idea who this guy is. Like that pissed me off, and it was such a good series, a good trilogy of movies up till then, and obviously with The Dark Knight being such a great movie in the middle of that whole thing, like that being a really good, perfect movie. And I'm wondering how much, because Heath Ledger was supposed to be in Dark Knight Rises. He had a contract for that final movie as well. I don't know how much he was supposed to be in it. Maybe they had to rewrite some parts because of that, and maybe that did change how things went, but it just seemed like a whole hodgepodge of things right at the end. They give you the whole like the taunt, like, oh look, it's his Christian name, Robin, and then you get Joseph Gordon-Levitt, basically becoming the Batman, but you don't see it, and it's just kind of like, oh, there it is, and we're done. See, I don't. It just was an extremely disappointing. But then again, it might just be because of my love for the Batman itself.
That whole last movie was just like, it wasn't bad, but it had a lot of things in it that were a bit questionable. Like, it was kind of a cluster at times.
Oh, the whole thing felt like a cluster, but overall, still like the trilogy to me was well done, and they had everything pretty much right. And then the ending just really giant shit bomb. There is one other one where the end was probably the worst thing they ever did, but then they saved themselves on it. This is a different way of looking at it.
Okay.
The end result we got
Alright.
was the theatrical release of Batman v Superman.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my
You're
god.
not wrong.
Michelle, did you ever see the theatrical release and or the ultimate version of Batman
No,
v
I
Superman?
need to watch it.
You haven't watched either one of them?
No, I have not.
Oh my lord, we won't go into it to save you from it.
So I only watched the Ultimate Edition, and let's just say I didn't understand all of the complaints that Craig and Brian had.
Well, apparently, from what I've understood, from what I have seen Craig say, is that the theatrical release feels like the fever dream, and that Ultimate Edition actually has the things that ties them together. So I don't think
Everything.
you would understand his complaint.
Yeah, it's amazing what 30 minutes of random scenes, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there can do.
It's a 3-hour movie. Brian, how long did it take us to get through that movie though?
About 5 hours.
It literally took us 5 hours to get through it because we kept pausing and going,
Wow.
where the fuck was that? That solves so much of the problems, the plot holes that come up. This solves it. Why would you not put this in the final version? It was a 30-second scene that explains the next 2 hours.
Imagine, this is not in the movie, but just imagine this, okay? You're in the theater and you're watching it, and it's like there's Batman, and he's standing there on a cliff. The next thing you see is him standing in a burning house, right? And then in the extended version of it, there's an in-between scene where he goes, "I need to burn this house down to flush out the Joker." like it's stuff like that where it's like there's a clear connect line that is drawn by these scenes that they cut out. And they just were like, nah, the audience can just assume that Batman needed to burn the house down to flush out the Joker.
Yeah, the theatrical release relies so much on assumption. Like, you assume that this happens, and that's what we had to do, but it just felt very disjointed, and nothing was connected. And then they finally went, oh yeah, you remember all the lines that we didn't draw? We're drawing them for you so that you feel like this is a complete movie. It just... For a major release, it's not that you can't make a movie where the audience has to figure some things out for themselves, but for a major release like that, for a movie that's supposed to hit all audiences, you got to connect those lines, man. You have to connect those lines, and they completely didn't. So, Michelle, if I could force you to do one thing with that movie, is to watch the theatrical release, and then
watch the new one,
and then watch the ultimate version, just so you get the idea.
I will do that just for you.
Because I wanted Burke to do it, and he was like, la, I'm too lazy, I don't want to, and he just watched one of them.
I honestly forgot and didn't realize it.
Yeah, and because I wanted to see like where his thoughts were, and so it was when him and I were talking about it, he was like, yeah, I've got some things here and there, and then he explained some things. I was like, well, that makes a little bit more sense, but I was thinking, well, how much could they really have fixed, Because clearly that's a problem with script and not a problem with, it's sitting on the cutting floor. No, it was all on the cutting floor. Every single ounce of things that made sense in that movie were on the cutting floor. Okay, we've got a little quiz here that I made for you guys.
I'm so special. I'm so special.
So I went through initially, and I came up with 2 different quizzes off the bat for this one, and both of them didn't get very far. And so I kind of fell back onto this one, which is the only thing I could think of that were really kind of connected into our subject this week.
Okay.
But it wasn't completely out there. Even though this is going to be completely out there a little bit. But,
okay.
We expect
we'll
that
see,
from you, Craig.
We'll see how this goes. Because this is going to be a little bit more... Hopefully it's not as bad as I'm thinking it might end up being. But I still think it's informative. So it'll be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be going over the top series finales episodes by ratings and number of viewers.
Ooh.
Okay.
And we're going to see... how many of these that you guys know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the list, and I'm going to
just put a big fat 0 in my score column.
I'm going to slowly
Done.
give you guys information about the show, with starting off with very broad things, and then leading up to I'm getting into specific characters and actors' names and things like that.
And then we have to guess the TV show?
You have to guess what show that is.
And is it first person?
I'm going to go with first person to shout it out, because I have a feeling there's not going to be too many that you guys are going to be, overlapping each other. It's all going to go by my ear. So hopefully it's the same when the podcast actually airs. So we're just going to go by my ear on this one. And you guys will have to trust. You guys will have to all trust me.
Okay. I don't know if I trust you, but that's okay. So
that's very...
And you're saying basically you went from whatever the top the top ratings for season finales. So
Yes.
the good TV shows, not the bad TV shows.
Yeah, this is the top ratings.
And so I
Okay.
guess it doesn't matter because there's probably
Could
some
be
TV
good,
shows
could-
that had bad endings,
Yes.
but a lot of people watched.
There's one on here that I'm
Oh,
looking
okay.
at right now that is considered one of the worst endings for a TV show, and
Okay.
it's
Okay,
it's
I
on the
follow.
top 50.
Now, do you want us to wait till you discuss all the information, or
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So
If-
it's
It's the
just
Jeopardy
shout
file,
it out
gotta
when you
buzz it
got-
in.
when you-
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Just shout it out whenever you think you've got it.
Got it.
And if you start just shouting out a bunch of names right in a row, Burke, I will cut you out of the podcast.
Fuck.
And
think
no
I
looking
first
up
have
either.
been threatened to-
Jackal.
Brooke, just put a 0 for your scorecard.
Damn it, Michelle, you know me so well.
Everybody knows Brian's name.
Do.
All right, let's start off with number 15. The first thing I'll give you, because it'll give you a good idea of at least time frame. That'll be the first clue I give you on every single one of these. The series finale episode aired on May 16th of 2005. So that gives you the idea. It is a CBS show, and it had 32, or basically 33 million viewers.
I don't know if that's good or bad. That seems like a lot of people, though.
Yeah, it's number 15 for most watched, so that's pretty good.
Seinfeld.
Boy.
No, it was not Seinfeld. So
Friends.
no, it was not Friends. So this is a show that was created and produced by Phil Rosenthal.
Oh.
CBS.
This show ran from 1996 to 2005. And then I'll start going over here into the reverse order of who played in this show.
Like
Seinfeld?
actors?
You already said Seinfeld. Yes, actors.
Okay.
So we have Monica Horan, Madeline Sweeten, Peter Boyle, Doris Roberts.
This is Buffy?
Nope.
Everybody loves
Brad
Raymond?
Garrett. Yes, it is. Michelle gets the point.
Brad Garrett, that would have got it.
Yep, and the next two would have been Patricia Heaton and then Ray Romano.
We would've gotten that one, yeah.
Oh no, Deborah.
All right, Michelle gets the point on that one, Bert.
I think Michelle should get 2 points just because she said she got 0. And then she gets -2 points just because she said I wouldn't get any, even though she spoke the truth.
Back to 0.
All right.
All right, this one is going to be, I think, a little bit tougher for us.
Okay.
So, this show, its series finale was in the May 3rd, 1991.
MASH.
No.
Damn.
It's CBS
Nice.
show. It also got just above 33 million viewers. Its final episode was called Conundrum. I don't really know how else to go into this one. I'll go with the people that starred in it, and this is the leads of it first, to try and get this one to go quicker. It stars Barbara Bell Geddes, Jim Davis,
Gilligan's Island.
nope, Patrick Duffy, Linda Gray, Larry Hagman. It's here's something else. It's a city in Texas.
Oh my god.
Just start naming
Dallas?
cities. Yes, there we go.
Wait, what did he say? I missed it.
Dallas.
It was Dallas, yeah.
That's a TV
That was
show?
That was
That was a
wildly
TV show.
popular.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
it
went.
was. It
Fuck
was
Dallas.
huge.
It was huge. It was absolutely
I-
huge.
Yeah, I remember that show.
But I knew that would be a little bit tougher, being that its finale was when we were like 3.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to be like, its finale was in 1967.
Yeah.
No, luckily there's only one of them that goes back that far. And I'll try and help you guys out with that one as well.
Okay.
All right, so this next one is a show that ended on the 13th of May in 2004. It was an NBC show.
Seinfeld.
No.
I'm just gonna keep going for Seinfeld every time
It was,
until I get it right.
It was an NBC show. It got in 35.2 million viewers. This might be a hint. The episode finale was called Goodnight Seattle.
Oh, Frasier.
There we go.
Frasier. I gotta tell you, I liked Frasier. Like,
Never watched it. I watched a couple and I never really got
it
into
was so dry, but in a good way. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, the entire time you're watching it, you're like, this is pretentious, and I know it's pretentious, but I love it because it is pretentious. Like the episodes would be like, Niles, the silverware is the wrong color, and he's like, oh, I thought you wanted steel. Like, no, I wanted silver, and that's all it is.
That sound, you sold me on it right there, Brian. I'm gonna go find the whole thing on
Hashtag
Netflix.
marketing.
Yeah.
All right, number 12. The number 12 most watched series finale. So this show was on ABC, and it was the 25th of May, 1999 is when it had its series finale.
Ooh.
It was a 35.5 million viewers, and the episode title was The Long and Winding Road, was the series finale show, or title.
The Long and Winding Road.
This is a show that I know most of you have watched, and it's based in a place most of you have been to. The lead actor on this show has a current show on ABC right now, and some could say it was a mirror
Full
version.
House.
Nope.
Home Improvement.
Yes, it was Home Improvement.
Shit! That was my. Fuck! I shouldn't. I'm not to the season finale yet. I'm on the last season right now.
That's
I'm
such
watching
a
it
great
again.
show.
It
Yep,
is.
so Tim Allen is on ABC again. I didn't realize both were on ABC. And he's kind of got the mirror version of his show where, now he's a successful guy and he's
Dude,
got 3 daughters instead of 3 sons. And
Yeah, dude. I tell you what, watching both of them, like, because I just finished. Well, I'm up to date on Last Man Standing. Now I'm watching Home Improvement, and just watching him how he acts, it's very similar, but the way he acts. It's like it's Tim Allen
Right.
now acting in Last Man Standing, right?
Right.
Like there was a little bit of that coming through for Home Improvement, but man, it is. He's old. He's like, I don't give a fuck. This is me, and like
Yeah.
this is me as a dad. And I love that show. Fantastic
I think it's
show.
funny. What's her name? One of the middle daughter, Mandy, in Last Man Standing. She's pretty active on Twitter for the most part, and I follow her. Her name's Molly Efferman or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her last name properly. She goes through and she's constantly, because she's a I wouldn't say hardcore, but she's definitely she's vocal. Vocal, I guess you could say liberal. I don't know how else to really put it, but she goes to that side, and it's so funny how much she has to explain to people. She goes, I realize my TV dad is Republican, but I'm not. She goes, I can work on this TV show and not have the same views. I have that ability. It's quite all right. It's hilarious to me
that she
people
has
are
to
like,
explain it. Yeah.
oh, that she has to explain it, and the fact that people get mad. They're like, well, you shouldn't. That's dishonest. Working on a TV show where you're
Really?
the daughter of a Republican on the TV. She's like, that's my TV show, Dad.
Yeah, you're an
That's not my
actress.
real life.
You're an actress? What?
It's so funny how
Mind
stupid people are.
blown.
But all right,
Like you want.
Stupid
Oh
people.
my god.
Just
number
wild.
11. We have an NBC show. Its series finale was May of 1989. It is a 36.3 million viewers. And the last episode, this might help, might not, is Alex Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Oh.
One of the
Alex?
starring actors on this TV show was Michael J. Fox.
Spin City.
Nope.
Family Ties.
There we go, Family Ties.
Oh man. It's like yeah.
Yep, Spin City ran after 1989, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it did. I just went to that because when I hear Michael J. Fox, aside from Back to the Future, the first thing that comes to my mind is always Spin City.
Right. All right, Michelle gets the point on that one. So number 10, and we're into the top 10 most watched series finales of all time. Number 10 is a CBS show. Its last air date was April of 1979.
MASH.
No. It recorded 40.2 million viewers. Its final episode was called Too Good Edith, excuse me.
Gilligan's Island.
Nope, the
Oh my god. I know it.
it was a song by Korn and Limp Bizkit. That helps nobody but me. It's starring Carol O'Connor,
Fuck, what's it called?
God, I
Gene
know.
Stapleton, Rob Rainier,
Stop saying names. I know it.
Sally Struthers.
Shut the fuck up.
Edith.
Oh,
Daniel Bruce.
It's
It is a prepositional phrase. Is the title of it?
I see the freaking intro. I see the intro.
na, 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 na.
Oh my god.
Those were the days.
That's the title of the theme song.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh my god. It's not the Honeymooners.
No.
It's way after that. It's oh my god.
It
Brady
was
Bunch?
nope. It was
No,
followed. It was
no.
followed the September after it finished by Archie Bunker's Place, which picked up where this show had ended and ran for 4 more seasons.
5's enough?
No. It's rated as the number 4 highest rated TV show of all time, or ranked that high. Guys, this is a family event. Let's try and keep it.
All in the
professional.
family.
There we go.
Wow. Dear Lord, thank you.
Yeah, like as soon as he said that, it was like, oh my god.
All right, Brian gets the point for that one.
Yeah.
All right, number 9. It is a NBC show. Its series finale was in April of 1992, and it raked in 44.4 million viewers. And the final episode title is "And So We Commence."
And so we commence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
In backwards order of who it stars: Erica Alexander. I gotta skip that one because that'll help people out too much. Keisha Knight Pulliam? Tempest Bledsoe?
This ended in 92?
Yes, it did. Malcolm
Yeah.
Jamal Warner? Joseph C. Phillips? Lisa Bonet? Joffrey Owens? One of the other names that I skipped earlier. It also starred Raven Simone.
The Cosby Show.
There we go, Cosby Show.
I was seriously gonna guess that, but I had no idea. Damn it.
I had one final clue just in case anybody wasn't going to get it, but you have an idea probably where that joke was going to go.
Oh boy.
That was the wrong time to drink coffee.
Yeah, I was also taking a drink, and I was like, don't choke on it.
Oh, that was almost bad.
All right. Number 8. This is going to be one of the different ones. And you'll understand when I go into it. So, it's an NBC show. Its series finale, and I put that in quotation marks, was May of 1992, and it earned 50 million viewers. This isn't a normal show. This wasn't a sitcom or a
Candid
show.
camera.
No, it wasn't a candid camera show, but it was. It necessarily wasn't live, but the effect was that it was kind of live.
Johnny Carson.
Yes, it was Johnny Carson's final.
Fuck you, Michelle. Fuck you, I got a point.
Where did that come from? He gets it just immediately. Yeah! Everyone else burn in hell. Wow. Wow. That level of anger. It's too early for that, man. Oh my god. Start your day with a fresh hot cup of coffee and Burke's anger, yeah. God dang.
Number 7. Yeah, so that was the one that was a little different. Number 8 was the finale of Johnny Carson's run on
Gotcha.
The Tonight Show. So it's put in there. I'm going with what this list has.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So
I remember watching that finale. Don't remember it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7 is a CBS show that ended in May of 1988, excuse me, and it had almost 51 million viewers of it. The episode final was called Resolutions.
Cheers.
Nope. I'll go with a couple of the people that were in it real quick. Let's see, where's that? Larry Manetti, Roger E. Mosley. And those are the only two I'm going to do initially because the next ones will really help it out. There were 2 cameos in this show at one point, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, I am so sorry. But there's 2 cameos in this show. One was a man by the name of Alan Trammell, and the other one was Lou Whitaker. And the reason why I bring that up was they were the shortstop and second baseman of the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because one of the leads is a Detroit sports fan.
Detroit sports fan? What year did this one end in?
This ended in May of 1988.
88.
Yep. So this show, I'll give another hint. Hopefully this doesn't just help out Brian, but it is a question to one of Sean Spencer's girlfriends. He had to ask them the question, what was their favorite episode of this show? And somebody said, Sunrise. Wait, no. Sunrise Part 2. Actually, no, reverse those two was the answer, pretty much. The 2 starring actors in this are John Hillerman and Tom Selleck.
That doesn't help me at all.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Magnum PI?
There we go, Magnum PI.
There it is. Yep, that's
Hey,
it. That's
good job. Good job.
I was sitting there, I'm like, it's a cop show. I know
Yep.
that
Yeah,
much. 'Cause
as soon as
Tom
you said
Selleck doesn't play
I'm like,
anything
okay,
but a
he's a
cop.
I thought the Tom Selleck thing would help it out quite a bit more on that one. I tried to give 2. One of the things, the Detroit Tiger thing always just made me giggle because Tom Selleck's from Detroit. So he had those
I
2.
did not know that.
I knew nobody would help out with that one. I didn't know if it helped Brian when they're talking about because at one point in the show psych, he's vetting out one of Gus's girlfriends, and he asks what was their favorite Magnum PI episode, and she replies, "Did you see Sunrise?" And then she says the second episode, and she goes, "Wait, no, Part 2, reverse those."
Gotcha. And no, I don't remember Meg. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one we have is a number 6 on the list. We're almost top 5. This show was an NBC show and ended in May of 04.
May of 04, and it
pulled
was
in
an NBC.
It was Friends.
Oh, you jerk! And it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so for the top 5, I'm going to implement a rule because I want to make sure that this is done the best way possible.
Okay.
Every incorrect guess that is shouted
Yeah.
after the first one results in half a point lost.
Oh no.
Okay, negative point. All right, negative.
So you've got one guess where there's no penalty, but after that, for any shouting of guesses afterwards that are incorrect, you get half a point lost. So,
Okay.
The top 5. This show, the final episode is called The Finale. It is an NBC show that ended in May of 1998. Let me make sure I've got it correct. It ran for 9 seasons, 180 episodes.
Full House.
Incorrect.
Damn it. Not guessing again.
Seinfeld?
It is Seinfeld.
Yeah!
Nice, Brian.
Finally, I knew it was bound to happen eventually.
I don't. Okay.
All right, so Seinfeld is number 5. So, number 4. This is a show that ended in 1967. It was on ABC.
Brady Bunch.
Incorrect. The final episode was called The Judgment Part 2.
Judgment Part 2?
It raked in
So
78 million viewers. Oh, just to let you know, Friends had 66 million, and Seinfeld had 77 million.
There's a lot of people watching TV in 1967.
Yeah, well, 67,
Yeah,
if
really.
you think about it, there wasn't a lot of TV shows or like
Yeah.
stations, so you know
I know,
it's
but
harder
even
to
like a lot of people didn't have TVs either, so it's like what brought in almost everybody who had them probably.
Yeah.
So this TV show also had a movie of the same name in 1993. I will go through the people that are in the TV series. I don't know if that's going to help anybody. It's starring Barry Morse and David Jansen. And I think the only way we're going to be able to really get this is by doing it this way. So the title of this is, if you think about somebody that's running from the law, what are different names that you could...
The Fugitive.
There we go.
I don't even know what that is.
I didn't even know it was a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it was, the thing is that I didn't know it was a TV show either. But at the same time, when you said that there was an individual movie, I placed the time period for I'm okay. My brain is going, what movies came out during that time period? And then when you said Running from the Law, I'm like, easy. That's Harrison Ford. Like, done, locked in. It's The Fugitive.
Yep.
Wow.
I never watched either, so I've heard
Yeah.
of both, never watched either.
The movie's
I haven't
good.
heard of either.
All right,
Okay.
number 3. This raked in 94 million viewers
Wow.
in 1993. It was an NBC show, and this might get it. So prep yourself. The title of the episode was "One for the Road."
You said 1993.
Yes, 1993. Where could you potentially say, "Hey, can I have one for the road?" And what TV show took place in that type of place?
I mean, I want to say Cheers. But
Cheers
it's
is
not.
correct.
I should have said
Cheers
it.
is
I fucking
correct.
should have said Cheers. God damn it.
I thought Cheers ended with... I said it because I get one free guess. I'm going to burn it on the only bar-themed show that I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
What were you thinking about Cheers? Like, why did you think it was incorrect?
Well, I honestly thought Cheers ended before that. In my head,
Yeah,
it
I
ended
didn't
before that
know.
because Frasier was on, shortly after, or around that time, and I didn't know if it was before or after. I don't know, because that's where Frasier came from, he was a character on Cheers that got his own show.
Okay. Number 2. It's an ABC show that pulled in 100 million views for its final
House.
episode. It was not Full House. The final is called Part 8. It was a miniseries, and it ended in 1977.
Jeez.
See, these are the years that Michelle's talking about where everybody had a TV and there still wasn't a lot of channels yet. So this is when a lot of people were able to watch these.
What was the last show?
January 30th, 1977.
And what was the title? Did you say the title?
Part 8. And it was a miniseries.
Part 8?
Part 8. Part VIII. Part
mini-
8.
What a freaking show name.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw out my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmos.
Was not Cosmos.
All right. Now I'm not gonna guess anymore.
This one I have a feeling might be a little difficult. The main actors in this were Vic Morrow, Leslie Uggams, Louis Gossett Jr., LeVar Burton, Ben Vereen.
Star Trek Enterprise.
Nope. John Amos.
I don't fucking know. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, this is hard.
And if you were to describe the tendrils that come out of plants and trees that are in the grass or in the dirt, what would you call those?
Roots?
Yes, Roots. Roots, the miniseries.
That's
Really?
That is the number 2 most viewed show of all time. Finale.
Really?
It is correct.
Roots.
All right, you guys.
It makes sense though for the time period too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Yeah, I guess so.
Number 1. You guys ready for the last one here?
C.
Yep.
All right, number 1. It is a CBS show that ended in February of 1983, and it pulled.
MASH.
Yes, it's MASH.
Fuck, I was about to say it.
It pulled in 125 million viewers for MASH. Its final episode was Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. That will be a number that is never overtaken because 83, is probably the perfect time before you start getting cable and all these other TV shows, and where a lot of people had the money to actually purchase a TV at this point and view in. So
Yeah.
How many viewers? was it?
125 million viewers.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
That's a ton
Wow.
of people.
Jeez. I mean, that's about as many people as watch our, listen to our podcast. So
Almost. They're
Almost.
hoping to get our numbers one day.
Yeah, well,
With reruns?
We're totaling up every view we've ever had in terms of real life. Anytime anybody's ever seen us, anytime they've listened to us, anytime they've watched in the 11th Moon
okay.
stuff,
Yeah,
any
there you
stream
go.
we've ever done, how many people watched it, and each eyeball counts individually as well. So
Each
that,
Oh
person-
yeah, I
each
encounter
person-
like 3,000 people a day, so we're great.
exactly.
Each,
So
each digits on feet and hands.
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Michelle
you know
has a
what?
wide reach.
yeah.
Michelle,
You know what,
Michelle's
guys?
locking down the viewers for us on this one.
She is. She. You know what? That's how the show MASH